everyone. We are here for a very short and sweet session on MHCET PYP analysis. PYP is previous year papers, and I'm going to talk about English language, the subject. Now, the thing is, obviously, you might have a volley of questions regarding what type of question stems you are probably going to see, and that's exactly what we are going to throw light on in today's session. So it's not going to take a lot of your time, but it will give you a lot of clarity as to what to prepare. Okay, so as you can see, the paper primarily comprises of these three pillars. The first one is reading comprehension, the second one is vocabulary, and the third one is grammar. Okay, now the thing is, you might have also got to know about the recent update in the paper pattern, and that is exactly what you can see on the second slide. So, until last year, the total number of questions that were seen in the English language subject were 30. Okay, but now it has been cut short to 24. So, there will be 24 questions from this year onwards. So, be mentally prepared for that as well. Okay, and good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Really glad to see you here. So, moving forward, what exactly is the dominant question stems that you're going to see in MHCET paper? Now, the thing is, मेरे को लगता है सभी को पता होगा कि the MHCET papers are not really out and you do not really have anything to refer to, right? But still, from what it has been seen since so many years, this is the conclusion of it. So, as you can see, reading comprehension may you are going to get 2 to 3 passages. Reading comprehension is something that we are all very familiar with. Okay, why? Because we have solved unseen passages in our schools from time to time, right? तो रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन में सारे आंसर्स जो हैं वो यूजुअली contextual ही होते हैं, right? And you're not supposed to look outside the passage. So that is one thing that you can start preparing as soon as possible. 5 questions each is the general pattern that you will most likely see. And moving forward, grammar and vocabulary has the most weightage. So in general, I would say law entrance exams, reading comprehension plays pivotal role, but when it comes to OLETs, it's grammar and vocabulary that is your deciding factor. Okay. Now the thing is, coming back to grammar topics, तो कौन से grammar topics आपको पढ़ने हैं? तो सबसे पहले parts of speech. Parts of speech is again something that you have been studying since you were little. सबको nouns, pronouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs ये सब कुछ पता ही है. That exactly is parts of speech. अब बात ये है कि direct question probably नहीं आए कि identify the part of speech, but they can give it to you in different formats. They might ask you collective nouns. Okay, questions on collective nouns. They might ask you questions on plurals. Singular, plural भी हमने पढ़े हुए हैं. Then they might ask you questions on articles. Articles is a category which falls under adjectives. तो adjectives में एक तो डिस्क्राइबिंग वर्ड्स होते हैं, दूसरे होते हैं डिटर्मिनर्स. ठीक है, तो डिटर्मिनर्स के अंदर आते हैं आर्टिकल्स. सो आर्टिकल्स पे भी क्वेश्चंस देखे गए हैं. देन वी हैव सेंटेंस करेक्शन. They'll probably give you a sentence and maybe they might have used the wrong form of a particular word and then you are supposed to correct it. ठीक है, again for that you need to know parts of speech thoroughly. ठीक है, moving forward to the next one, we have verbals. Now, verbals is a very important category, but usually people overlook it. Verbals kind of constitute three things: infinitives, gerunds, and participles. Now, this is again something which you will have to go back to when it comes to your grammar books. But अगर आपने थोड़ा अच्छे से revise किया इस चीज को, तो it is not rocket science. It's super easy to learn. Then we have active passive voice. बचपन में active passive voice भी हमने किया हुआ है, ठीक है, where we are supposed to interchange the position of the subject and the object, and then according to the tense we use the helping verbs. So that is active passive voice. They might give you a sentence and they might ask you to change it into its passive voice or vice versa. Then we have direct indirect speech. Again, that is something which is very common to grammar topics. Tenses, direct indirect speech, active passive voice, सारी चीजें हमने 8th 9th 7th 8th में पढ़ी ही हुई है. ठीक है, तो डायरेक्ट इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच में भी यू आर सपोज टू रिमूव द इन्वर्टेड कॉमास, देन you are supposed to change the pronoun according to the subject. All of those things have to be taken care of when you're converting a sentence from direct to indirect speech. Again, they can ask this question in different formats. Probably they'll give you a reading comprehension passage, pick up a sentence from that passage, and then they'll ask you to change it into indirect speech. Okay. Then moving to subject verb agreement. Now, subject verb agreement is really important in the sense that again, when you get sentence correction एक बहुत important part है इसका. So sentence correction, error detection, इसमें subject verb agreement से बहुत सारे errors ढूंढे जाते हैं. तो subject verb agreement is pretty simple. You need to ensure that the subject agrees with the verb. If the subject is singular, obviously the verb has to be singular. If the subject is plural, the verb has to be plural. Right? Again, there are too many rules for subject verb agreement that requires consistent practice. Probably ऐसा हो सकता है कि you can pick 5 rules for the day and have a rigorous practice on that, and that will actually make you really good when it comes to subject verb agreement. Then next important thing is comparative degree. Again, this is a part of parts of speech. क्योंकि comparative degree is something that we study when we study adjectives. तो तुम लोगों को अगर याद होगा, you might have studied that one table where there is positive, comparative, and superlative degree. For example, hot, hotter, hottest. Intelligent, more intelligent, most intelligent. Okay, and you must have also seen that whenever it's time for comparative degree, generally we use the word than to show that comparison. Okay, so comparative degree पे भी बहुत बार questions देखे गए हैं. And then we have phrasal verbs. Now the thing is, phrasal verbs are in the combination of a verb obviously, क्योंकि यहाँ पे phrasal verbs दिया हुआ है, तो verb तो हो गई, but उसके साथ it's either an adverb combination or a preposition combination. You might have come across phrasal verbs such as check out. We checked out of our hotel. So check out का मतलब क्या होता है? We paid the bill and now we are leaving. Okay, and we have got the room empty. It's vacant now for somebody else to use. So that is phrasal verb. और बिल्कुल सही, ग्रामर पढ़ के जाओ तो वो क्या पूछ लेते हैं, ये तो बिल्कुल सही बोला तुमने. बट क्या है कि हम लोग वी कैन नॉट रियली लीव एनी स्टोन अनटर्न, वी हैव टू गिव आवर बेस्ट. ठीक है, पेपर तो एग्जामिनर ही डिसाइड करेगा, जो पेपर सेट कर रहा है वही डिसाइड करेगा. ऑल वी कैन होप फॉर इज वट एवर वी हैव स्टडीड, बस वो आ जाए. ठीक है, इसलिए सारी चीजें पढ़ के जाओ जिससे कि तुम एटलीस्ट इतने तो कॉन्फिडेंट रहो कि आई कैन मैनेज और हैंडल द इंग्लिश सेक्शन. ठीक है, and exactly near good, better, best. Then bad, worse, worst. These are all comparative degree examples. फिर उसके बाद एरर डिटेक्शन, ये एक बहुत ही प्राइम कैटेगरी है. एरर डिटेक्शन बहुत अलग अलग तरीके से आता है. सो एरर डिटेक्शन विल कम इन द फॉर्मेट ऑफ सब्जेक्ट वर्ब अग्रीमेंट. They might give you error detection on tenses. They might give you error detection on articles. They might give you error detection on prepositions. इसलिए मैंने बोला था parts of speech सबसे important है. If you are really clear with your parts of speech, half of the problems would be solved. ठीक है, फिर हम बात करते हैं क्लोज टेस्ट की. Does anybody have any idea what is a close test? ट्राई करके देखो तुम लोगों को कुछ अगर आइडिया है इस चीज का, बताओ. और नहीं पता है तो ठीक है, इट्स फाइन, यू कैन लेट मी नो इन द चैट बॉक्स. कुछ आइडिया है क्लोज टेस्ट का? सो अगर नहीं भी पता है तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. सो दे विल गिव यू अ पैराग्राफ, एंड अगेन दिस इज समथिंग विच यू माइट हैव स्टडीड इन स्कूल. Okay, they'll give you a paragraph and the paragraph will have blanks. Okay, and just I would say just after the blank you will see a verb, and then you are supposed to use the correct form of verb. ठीक है, जैसे कि for example, she dash to the market, and in the bracket the verb will be go. Now you are supposed to use the correct form of go. Again, this exercise is actually based on tenses and your knowledge of tenses. So if you are somebody who is really good at tenses, तुम्हें already पता होगा, या तो हम बोलेंगे she is going to the market, she goes to the market daily, depending upon the time expressions that are given, depending upon the next sentence, उसके हिसाब से हम tense decide करेंगे. So close test का मतलब यही होता है, एक पैराग्राफ दिया जाएगा and blanks दिए जाएंगे, और उसके ही just next to it there will be a verb. Okay, so yes, you are supposed to use the verb according to the entire paragraph. You need to be smart enough for that. Okay, for that again you are supposed to study your tenses. So tenses के बिना obviously grammar ही अधूरी है. बचपन से बताया जा रहा है कि grammar में अगर tenses नहीं पढ़े तो कुछ नहीं पढ़ा. Tenses helps you to become fluent in English. Tenses helps you to frame proper meaningful sentences, and tenses also helps you clear exams like these, right? तो इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ टेंसेस सभी को ही पता है. नाउ मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट थिंग विच इज वोकैबुलरी. See, vocabulary is as vast as the ocean, and we all are well aware of it. But again, there are certain high frequency words that you are supposed to know, and there's also one exercise, one word substitution. So there's a book by Lucent जिसमें one word substitution दिया जाता है. So if you can purchase that book, you can refer to it. You can have like plenty of exercises on your internet as well, so you can even refer to that. नाउ सबसे पहले सिनोनिम्स एंड एंटोनिम्स. सबसे कॉमन क्वेश्चन टाइप वोकैबुलरी में होता है आइडेंटिफाई द सिनोनिम और आइडेंटिफाई द एंटोनिम. ओके, यू आर आइदर सपोज टू फाइंड आउट अ वर्ड सिमिलर टू द हाईलाइटेड वर्ड और अ वर्ड विच इज ऑपोजिट ऑफ द हाईलाइटेड वर्ड. ठीक है. Second one is one word substitution. Any idea what one word substitution is? For example, they ask you, a person who doesn't believe in God is known as. So, what are you going to mark? A person who doesn't believe in God. मैं तो तुम लोगों से मिलती ही रहूंगी, तुम टेंशन मत लो. तो a person who doesn't believe in God is atheist. Okay, so that is the one word substitution. Like God has all the power in the universe. तो हम उन्हें क्या बोलते हैं? Omnipotent. Exactly. Nastic. Atheist. Atheist is a word that we use for a non-believer. Okay. Somebody who has, I would say, somebody who works as a personal assistant to somebody important. तो उसके लिए भी एक वर्ड हो सकता है. देन बेसिकली यू आर सपोज टू फाइंड आउट दैट वन वर्ड विच काइंड ऑफ सब्सटीट्यूट्स द एंटायर सेंटेंस. ओके, सो एथीस्ट हो सकता है. देन द ऑपोजिट ऑफ इट इज थीस्ट, फॉलोअर, बिलीवर, ऑल ऑफ दोज थिंग्स. सो दैट इज वन वर्ड सब्सटीट्यूशन. देन अ वेरी कॉमन क्वेश्चन टाइप इज आइडेंटिफाई द मिसस्पेल्ड और करेक्टली स्पेल्ड. तो वो जानबूझ के आपको चार ऑप्शंस देंगे. चार में से एक ऑप्शन जो होगा वो करेक्टली स्पेल्ड वर्ड होगा. ठीक है. या तो फिर they'll give you misspelled. तो बहुत ही आई वुड से रेयरली ही आता है. करेक्टली स्पेल्ड वाला क्वेश्चन ही ज्यादा आता है. So you are supposed to identify the correctly spelled word. Again, for that, you need to be really good at vocabulary. Why? Because they might not give you very easy words. They might give you words like onomatopoeia. They might give you words like panegyric. और उसकी स्पेलिंग तुम लोगों को अगर नहीं आती होगी तो ऑटोमेटिकली प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी. ठीक है. So, yes, absolutely. And by the way, what is your name, Napoleon? And moving forward, analogy. Any idea what analogy is? Dekho. For example, now this was one question which was seen in last year's paper. I hope you can see and understand my handwriting. Yes, so this is your question on analogy. Mad is too insane. So, can you understand the connection between the word mad and insane? It has a connection of being synonyms of each other. Now, you are supposed to identify another combination That is a pair of synonyms. Now, can you tell me out of these four options, can you find a pair of synonyms? And that is going to be your answer. By the way, sweet and savory, these are opposites, not a pair of synonyms. Something which is sweet is obviously sweet and savory is namkeen. तो ये pair of antonyms हैं, synonyms नहीं है. Similarly, profound and superficial. Profound means something which is very deep, and superficial is surface level. Again, a pair of antonyms. First option का तो कोई relation ही नहीं है. Obviously, we are talking about two very different colors. So the answer is greedy is to avaricious. दोनों का ही मतलब होता है greedy. So this is your answer, option C. So this is an analogy. First of all, you need to understand the relationship between two words. And that relationship you need to replicate in the options. तो ये क्वेश्चन टाइप है जो देखा जाता है बहुत ज्यादा. ठीक है. एंड द लास्ट वन इज idioms. Idioms का मतलब होता है मुहावरे. नाउ अगेन मुहावरे is something which is super vast, but every single day if you keep on revising five idioms, I think you are going to be much better than I think half of the people who are writing this exam. And half of the idioms you probably might have already heard. Okay, so if I say under the weather, today I am feeling under the weather. Any idea about what that means? I don't really think that that is an idiom, by the way, but thank you for the compliment. But Nia, to be very honest, एक अच्छी grammar book can actually help you to overcome all your problems. Okay? So if you are feeling under the weather, that means you are actually not feeling well. So if I am feeling sick, ill, then I can use the expression, idiomatic expression, under the weather. And for example, when you clear MHCET exam, you all will be on cloud nine. What is the meaning of on cloud nine? इसका मतलब होता है you are going to be super happy, super excited, right? So on cloud nine or on the 11th heaven, it means that when you are exceptionally happy, very excited about something. ठीक है. तो idioms बहुत सारे तो तुम लोगों ने सुने ही हुए होंगे, but it's just that you need to consciously start preparing it every single day. See, you do have plenty of time, so do not waste it. As simple as that. Okay, and yeah, that's pretty much it from my side, guys. तो मैंने जैसे बोला ही था, it's gonna be a very short and sweet session. I do hope that it has given you some clarity as to what to prepare. Okay, I can also like suggest you a few grammar books here. Grammar books, like you can go for English is Easy, you can go for Raymond Murphy. ठीक है, these are some really great English books, grammar books, which can help you to clear the concepts. And you can also start following certain channels where you feel that you understand things better. वो भी तुम्हें काफी हेल्प करेगा. ठीक है. सो थैंक यू सो मच एवरीवन. प्लीज बी वेरी वेरी केयरफुल एंड माइंडफुल व्हेन यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर योर इंग्लिश सेक्शन. एंड आई थिंक दैट vocabulary could be the deciding factor for this. So very very religiously start preparing vocabulary. And thank you so much everyone for your time. And that's it. I'll be seeing you soon. Bye bye.